We begin this half hour with a controversial roundup. Wild horses have long been a feature of the American West, but now hundreds are being removed from a remote section of Northern California because, as often happens on Western lands, they're caught up in the crossfire of competing interests. John Blackstone has the story.
The helicopter over a rocky plateau in Northern California is doing the work of a modern cowboy, rounding up wild horses, ending their days of running free.
We are sending 700 animals down to corrals for adoption, training, try and get them homes where people can use them and ride them.
Amanda McAdams, supervisor of Modoc National Forest, says she's received thousands of emails objecting to the roundup.
Removing horses from the land is going to make it a better situation for the horses that remain out there. For these horses, part of the reason they're calm standing behind us is they have food and water. They're not having to go searching for it.
Nearly 4,000 wild horses now live in Modoc National Forest.
There's really room for 200 to 400 to exist healthy in balance with the land.
The land where the wild horses live is called the Devil's Garden, a landscape of volcanic rocks where the grass is often overgrazed by horses. How high should this be?
There's some examples around here where it's probably 3 or 4 inches, but there's just no vegetation left, and you can see how they're just dying out.
Because of overgrazing, this land has been closed for use by cattle ranchers who are now suing the Forest Service.
A lot of these areas don't have cattle in them now, and the degradation is still occurring.
But the horses have ardent defenders far from the open range. The American Wild Horse Campaign has been holding fundraisers, fearing some of the horses will ultimately be slaughtered.
In the average markets for horse meat at auction, horses are going for hundreds of dollars a piece. So when the Forest Service says that they're going to sell them for $1 a piece, we know they are going to slaughter.
The Forest Service admits some older horses could be sold for as little as $1, and they have no way of knowing what happens to those animals. But even as the horses are being gathered, some enthusiastic buyers are looking for animals they would love to adopt.
You saw some special ones there today.
Oh, yeah, we did.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
There's some pretty colors out there.
Janie, Denise, and Catherine have all adopted wild horses in the past. Catherine's was captured at Devil's Garden last year.
And he's 4 years old now, and he's a great horse. I mean, I couldn't ask for a better horse.
The horses that are gathered get to go to homes where they're hopefully never in need of anything anymore. I'd rather see them going to homes than starve to death out on the range, because they will.
It's a controversy that won't end soon. Even if the Forest Service brings in 1,000 horses this year as planned, another roundup will be needed next year. For CBS This Morning Saturday, John Blackstone, Modoc National Forest.
They're expensive. They are really expensive. I came this close to owning a horse. My dad in Compton, California, of all places. But yeah, they're just the upkeep. Tremendous.
Well, I hope those horses find a home.
I do, too.